Good evening. Now we'll see the third unit, financial statements. So in this topic, we'll see what is financial statements or final accounts. Okay. So this will be prepared after trial balance. Okay. So we know the flow. First, we have to create a journal book, then a ledger, and finally trial balance. Okay. After that, we need to create a financial statement. Okay. So final accounts or financial statements are usually prepared at the end of the accounting period on the basis of balances, ledger accounts, which is prepared by in the trial balance. Okay. So why we are preparing this financial statement? So to know the financial performance of a company and also the financial position of that company. Okay. And final accounts in we can divide it into two way. One is income statement, or we can say it as trading and profit and loss statement. Another one is balance sheet. So first we'll see trading account. Okay. So what is trading? So trading is buying something or selling something. Okay. So these things we'll do for making profit. Okay. So the result of trading, that is a trading account, shows the results of both buying and selling of goods. So in preparing this account, the general establishment charges are ignored and only the transaction in goods are included. Okay. So this is the format of trading account. We have a debit side and credit side. In debit side, we have to write that is opening stock of the company and purchase. If it is purchase return, we have to subtract it, and also direct expense will come in debit side. We know what are the direct expenses, that is carriage, inward, and wages, dock charges, royalty, import duty, octroi, and also the cost of goods manufactured. Okay. And also in the credit side, we have to write sales. If it is sales return, we have to subtract it, and the closing stock will come in the credit side. Okay. So we have to find that sum of debit side and credit side. Okay. So we will get some value. If the value is greater than this debit side means, so it has loss, that is gross loss. If it is less than that is, if the credit side is more means, so we have profit, so that we have to take into this debit side. Okay. So if credit side is more, it's a profit. If credit side is less, it's a loss, gross loss. Okay. So by end of the trading account, we will get gross loss and gross profit. Okay. And next one is COGS, or we can say it as cost of goods sold. So the formula to find out this is, so we have to add opening stock, net purchase, and direct expenses. You have to sum these three things, and finally you have to subtract with the closing stock. Okay. So now the result will be the cost of goods sold, COGS. Okay. So I see an example. So they will give some values. Okay. So here we need only opening stock, closing stock, direct expense, and the net purchase. Sum these first three, then finally less with that is subtract with the closing stock. So these are the values. Okay, so we should not take indirect expense, because indirect expense will not play a part in COGS. So in income statement, we have two parts. First part is trading account, that is what we saw. So the second part is a profit and loss account. Okay. So a profit and loss account is an account into which all gains and losses are collected. Okay. So in order to ascertain the excess of gains over the loss or vice versa. Okay, so the amount of gross profit or gross loss brought down from the trading account will be the first item in the profit and loss. Okay, so for doing profit and loss, you have to know the gross profit and gross loss. Okay, that is the first step. And all the indirect expense and losses are debited uh, to profit and loss account. Okay, so indirect expense, we know that is office administrative expense, selling expense, distributive and expense, etc. So as the profit and loss account is a nominal account, all the indirect expense and losses are shown on the debit side. Okay, and all the indirect income and gains will come in the credit side. So this is the format of profit and loss. So we have gross loss. If you have gross loss, you have to write in a debit side. Gross profit, you have to write in a credit side. Okay. So this all administrative expense like rent, tax, or legal charges, audit fees, that comes under administrative expense. Okay. So selling distributive expense. So this all comes under direct expense like commission, brokerage amount, or bad debt. And other expense like repair, depreciation, or some interest charges, or discount. Okay. So this all comes in the debit side. Okay. In the credit side we have indirect income, that is rent earned. So this is indirect expense and this is indirect income. Okay. So commission earned or interest on drawings. So you may put some amount in bank, in your company name. So from you can get some interest amount. So the interest received, everything comes under indirect income. So it will be in the credit side. Okay. So net profit is so like a trading profit, you have to sum these values, and that is from the debit side till before the net profit. Similarly we have to sum here in the credit side. If the credit side is increased, then it is a profit, net profit. Here you get net profit or net loss. There you get gross profit or gross loss. Okay. So this is format of profit and loss. Okay, we'll see an example. So they will give value. So if you have to do profit and loss only means, so the particular item should start with either gross profit or gross loss. Okay. So gross profit, and where are the received amounts like dividend received, discount received, and rent received. So remaining you see carriage outward, rent, stationery item, expenses, everything comes under expense. So now you sum up these values and sum up these values. Okay. So profit means you have to write in the credit side. So now the values is a net profit. Okay. So if you add this and this means you may get more value in credit side, that is 1,70,600 after adding this. So now you have to subtract these values from this 1,70,600. Now you get 1,20,300. Okay. So that is the net profit. If you add everything, so similar the last that is the final value will be equal to this, because we are subtracting the sum with this. Okay. 1,70,600 minus these complete things, that is carriage outward to bad debts. Okay. Thank you. We'll see balance sheet in next class.